Hey everyone, it's Mariana, and let's talk about the latest love it or hate it film everyone is arguing about, Joker. I really don't think I need to say much about the plot here. It's an origin story of one of the most famous comic book villains, the Joker. The movie presents it as a character study of a man named Arthur Fleck and focuses on how a bad chain of events pushes him towards the path of murder and chaos. Where do I even start with this? I'm not going to lie, I came out of this film feeling pretty conflicted. There were a lot of things that I thought were really great about it, but there were also some things that just did not work for me. But overall, I walked out with a bit of a what the hell did I just watch feeling. I think the important thing to remember here is that this is a reinterpretation of the character. The movie isn't based on any particular comic, though it borrows some ideas from The Killing Joke. The main influence here is Taxi Driver, with a dash of A Clockwork Orange. Joker takes its famous main character and explores how could a person turn into the sadistic killer we have all heard of. And honestly, this type of character study is interesting because when it comes to serial killers, most of us want to know what in the world drives these people. How do they get to that point? What makes them do the things they do? There are quite a few films that approach that topic. However, when you take a famous character and put him into that concept, you're going to sell a lot more tickets. I can't be the only person out there who thinks that this story didn't really need to be about the Joker, aside from getting people into the seats. To me, the occasional tie-ins to the Wayne family seemed pretty unnecessary and kind of forced. They were easily my least favorite part about this movie, and to be quite honest, I could have done completely without that last one. Another thing I questioned was the extremely bleak take on people in general. There are barely any decent people in this film, and part of the reason they even seem decent is because we don't really know much about them, but we don't see them do anything bad, so we assume they're nice. But generally, everyone is a dick. This is something that made more sense to me as I thought about the movie a bit more, though. We see the story from Arthur Fleck's perspective, and we repeatedly hear that he is unhappy and all he has are negative thoughts. So this is his worldview, and from that standpoint, it absolutely makes sense that everyone is a jerk and everything is awful. Thinking about it on a much smaller scale, I am sure most of us have been in the situation where we have just been down on our luck, we have been pessimistic about everything, and when you're in that mindset, everything bad that happens, big or small, is just proof that the world sucks and everything's unfair and everything's just awful. And when you're in that mindset, you also tend to ignore the good things that happen or the good people in your life because you're so focused on the negative. Arthur Fleck's experience is that, but augmented by mental illness and by the fact that he actually is in a very bad situation in his life. Obviously, I'm not saying this to excuse murder, but specifically to the point of why there aren't really characters that are good people in this movie. Now, let's be real. Most of us are here for Joaquin Phoenix's performance as the Joker. He is absolutely the main attraction of this film, and if you are here for his performance, you're not going to be disappointed. To say that he delivers as the Joker is kind of an understatement. He fully commits to the role. You see the pain, the disappointment, the madness. You see this person unravel and you believe every moment of it. Those laughing fits alone are an Oscar-worthy performance. And yeah, I would say, as of right now, this is the best lead actor performance of the year. I also have to take a moment to tell you how much I appreciated the visual style. The way this movie looks is exactly what it needed to be. There are some iconic shots in there that I just had to sit and admire. You see, obviously, some of this visual style in the trailer, but the whole film is just It looks fantastic. Also, the score is hauntingly beautiful and apparently written by the same composer who wrote the score for the Chernobyl miniseries, which is pretty damn impressive. I really just need to learn how to pronounce her name correctly because she is clearly someone to watch for, or rather listen to. Now, to address the controversy surrounding what this film was trying to say or not trying to say. Here's the thing. The movie makes it clear multiple times that Arthur Fleck, the main character, is not meant as any kind of political statement. And to be fair, Arthur Fleck isn't really framed in any kind of heroic way to say that this film is some kind of glorification or call to action. However, there are points in the film that feel like the message is questionable, and there are also times when you're clearly meant to empathize with the lead character. Empathizing with the Joker is a very unsettling thought, and certainly is not something I want to be doing. But do I think the film is irresponsible because it's going to inspire some kind of violence? No, I don't think that was the goal, and I don't think that's the takeaway of the movie. Are there going to be people who are going to take it the wrong way? Most likely, but you can say that about pretty much any vigilante or revenge story. Last thing I'm going to say, which is going to sound pretty obvious to most people, but apparently not to everyone. Don't bring your children to this movie. I kid you not. Someone at my theater brought their child with them who seemed about 5 or 6 years old. Don't be that person. This is not a fun comic book movie for kids. There is some graphic shit in this movie that children should not be watching. All right, so the rating. I have no idea how I'm going to rate this movie. As I mentioned in the beginning, I came out of this film feeling pretty conflicted, and even though after sleeping on it and thinking about it, I appreciate this movie more, I still can't say that I loved it, and probably even not that I really, really liked it. To begin with, chaos is not a topic I'm a big fan of at all, so thematically, some of this film was just not my thing. Also, the inspirations behind this film are obvious to the point of the writing and some of the visual cues feeling derivative. There were many times during this movie when I felt like I was watching a weird Taxi Driver reimagining, except with Travis, it's all about loneliness and failing to connect. And with Arthur, we lose that depth in favor of a whole lot of bad happening to the person at once until they break. It's not a movie I am likely to watch again. However, the visuals and the atmosphere and the lead performance are incredibly strong. So this leaves me somewhere between 3.5 and 4 stars. I don't think I can give it a 4 because to me that rating means I really liked something, and that would be kind of a stretch for the Joker. I appreciated certain elements of this film, I loved certain elements of this film, but overall, this is just something that I can't say is entirely for me, and I did question the approach and the message in certain parts. So yeah, I am going to stick with 3.5 out of 5, mainly because of how conflicted I feel about the whole thing. I will say though, I really like where this is going for mainstream movies and for comic book based movies in general. I would love to see more films that have that darker quality, that tackle some more controversial topics. It's incredibly interesting to me, and I think this is going to open doors for some really, really exciting films within the genre. So that I'm very excited for. And that's it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I would love to know what you thought of the movie if you've seen it already, so let me know in the comments below. If you haven't seen it and the controversy is getting to you in a little bit and you're thinking maybe this is not for you, I think you should still check it out in theaters and make up your own mind, because I don't think this is a movie you want to miss. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I hope you're having an awesome day, at least a much better day than the couple days that Arthur Fleck was having. Yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!